This whole month is a joyful month. It's a month of holidays. So happy holidays to all of us, whoever we are, whichever we belong to. Happy holiday to every one of us. And now I would like to give the floor to Marina, please.
Thank you so much, Elias. It's definitely a pleasure to introduce our guests today. And our guests today are Hannah Kamp and her colleague, Lori Barrett. Both of them are from NEADS, World Class Service Dogs. This organization, located in Princeton, Massachusetts, started in 1976, and they trained, the name of the organization, as I said, is NEADS World Class Service Dogs. They trained over 1,900 service dogs teams since their founding. During their presentation, Hannah and Lori will share with us what types of service dogs they train, what some of the jobs the service dogs do, as well as the journey of a NEADS service dog from start to finish. Both Hannah and Lori work in the development or fundraising department, and they have been with NEADS for over 5 years. So it's a pleasure to have them with us today. Welcome, and Hannah, the microphone is yours.
Hi, so I am gonna share my screen if that's okay, because we have a little PowerPoint presentation that we'd like to take you through. Lori, go ahead.
Okay, so I will start. Just get my notes. Okay, so yep, my name is Lori, and Hannah and I are from NEADS. We are a nonprofit organization that breeds, raises, and trains service dogs for people with disabilities. We're based out of Princeton, Mass, which is near Mount Wachusett, and we are celebrating our 45th anniversary this year. It takes roughly 2 years to fully train a service dog. I love that little guy. We start at around 6 to 8 weeks old, and with basic obedience and socialization, and we go from there. The majority of our dogs are black or yellow labs. We find they work the best in forms of overall temperament and willingness to work and trainability. Labs will do anything for a treat. That's what makes them so easy to be trained. And it's also quite expensive to train a service dog. It's around $45,000 when you encompass everything. So we originally started out training only hearing dogs, but over the years we've branched out, and now we train a wide variety of dogs, which Hannah will get into. And then Hannah will talk about our service dogs programs, and I will talk about our assistance dogs programs a little bit later. Go ahead, Hannah.
So as Lori mentioned, we started out as just training hearing dogs. So basically their job is to alert someone who is deaf or hard of hearing to sounds. I'll show you a quick demonstration in this video of how it will work. So basically the dog is going to go to the sound and then nudge their person and come back to where the sound is coming from.
Oh, my notebook.
Good sound, good girl. Good sound, good girl.
So the fire alarm is a harder one to train because obviously it's on the ceiling and the dog can't go up there. So what they do is put some tape on the ground right below where the smoke alarm is on the floor. And that's where the dog will go to. So you can kind of see, you can't see the tape here, but he kind of circles right below it so that the person knows. So we also train service dogs for adults and children with disabilities, with a physical disability. Dogs that are trained for this will pick up dropped items, retrieve objects from tables or counters, turn light switches on and off, push automatic door buttons, elevator buttons, tugging doors and cabinets open. And the last one, barking on command for help. So our dogs are actually trained to never bark. So if someone comes to the door, they will not bark. They see another dog, they're not gonna bark. This is really important because if someone in a wheelchair falls out and needs help and there's not someone directly there, the dog can speak, we call it, and they'll start barking really loud so that people who are in the general area will hear and come help the person. Here's a couple of videos of our dogs doing some task work.
Good boy.
So this is a very complex command that you just saw because all the trainer had to say was the word fridge, and the dog knows to tug the fridge door open, get the water bottle inside, close the fridge door, and then hand it to the trainer, all from one command. The other thing to note about this is the trainer waits until she has a good grasp on the water bottle to say the word give, so that the dog will then release it. So we wouldn't want a dog to just retrieve something and kind of like let it go before the person actually has a good grip on it. A lot of our clients have dexterity issues, so it's really important for the person to have that good handle on it before the dog lets it go.
So we also have a very small program called TAD, and that stands for Trauma Assistance Dogs. And these are dogs specifically trained for veterans with PTSD. So these dogs are very special. They're a little bit more sensitive to people's feelings. So what these dogs do is they help a veteran overcome the fear of going outside or going to work, just getting out there. They're essentially like a battle buddy. That's the term we use. It's just our dogs are not trained to protect or attack. It's just another set of eyes for someone that might be wary of loud sounds or sudden movements. You can see in this example of a photo, the veteran is petting this dog's head. This is actually a command called visit. And what it is if the veteran is suddenly having a panic attack, the dog will come over and rest his head down on the veteran's knee, apply some pressure, and we can actually do some breathing exercises through petting just to help calm them down.
We also train dogs for children on the autism spectrum or other developmental disabilities. It helps the children build confidence and cope with change in their life, teaches them some body language, empathy. Kids can get a dog at age 8. The dog is facilitated through their guardian until they're 16, I believe. And that's a great program as well.
Okay, so we also place a number of assistance dogs. And the first type that I'm going to talk about is assistance dogs for a classroom. And for example, these dogs help kids feel more calm if they're experiencing anxiety or if they're having trouble focusing on a task or behaving well. And time spent with a dog can be used as a reward system. We also place dogs with counseling professionals such as therapists, school counselors, and ministers. These dogs stay with the therapist during counseling sessions. They visit nursing homes and attend other community activities. Their presence offers a friendly and gentle and engaging dog, helps put people at ease. We also place dogs with people in hospitals. These dogs help alleviate stress and trauma that patients and families might experience while staying in a hospital. And another type of assistance dog that we place is in a courthouse facility. And these dogs can accompany a witness, usually a child or other victim of violent crime, helping them feel more at ease during court proceedings. In the case of a child, sometimes it's easier to tell a dog what has happened than to an adult.
I just wanted to show you guys a quick video of like the journey of a service dog. So I will go ahead and play that now.
Shaping and training a NEADS service dog begins as soon as they arrive on our campus. Typically, a puppy will arrive at the Early Learning Center at about 8 weeks old. The NEADS campus is where the puppies first learn that humans are friendly and fun. Loud noises are not scary, and unusual items are not frightening. It's here where all puppies are properly evaluated and taught their basic training commands.
Socialization is important because you have a limited time where the puppy can absorb all of this. After a while, what's in there is ingrained. So the better socialized puppy, the better chance. They come in, they have a quarantine period, and this whole time we're working with people, volunteers, and we're working with inanimate objects and sounds to get them ready for success.
Once puppies have become acclimated on campus, they head off to one of 9 correctional facilities throughout New England that participate in our prison pup program. Under the guidance of NEADS staff, the prison pup program has proven to be highly effective due to the amount of time and training devoted on a consistent basis by inmate handlers. To ensure that all puppies have a full range of experiences, volunteers help out by socializing them on weekends. These weekend puppy raisers, specially trained in socialization skills by NEADS, are assigned to a puppy for the entire time the dog is in the prison program. Puppies spend their weekends at a volunteer's home and follow the volunteer's routine around town. This way, the puppies become accustomed to travel, as well as common public places like shopping malls, movie theaters, restaurants, and grocery stores. These volunteers devote an entire year or more of their lives to make sure their pups are prepared and have experienced everything they might encounter. This ensures that in the end, the right dog will be matched with their partner. When a NEADS dog has completed their training, they return to our campus and are evaluated and tested. This process is a vital step in the matching process of all NEADS dogs.
NEADS has a very high standard of the type of assistance dogs we put out. When a dog comes to me, I have to make sure that the dog is confident out in public, is friendly with other dogs and people, has a good work ethic, and is comfortable next to different apparatus, so wheelchair walker, cane, crutches. So we're going to see the dog's personality develop, their training develop, we know what their strengths are based on what we see and also what we're getting the feedback from the inmate handlers and the weekend puppy raisers. So that all helps us make the match as well.
NEADS dogs aren't the only ones being trained. Clients have a lot to learn about their new partners they'll be matched with. The Kathy Foreman Training Center is where all of this will take place. This new, comfortable facility is where clients begin learning how to work with their dogs in a realistic home environment for the very first time.
All the dogs are trained to service dog tasks. So they're doing the highest quality of assistance dog work. But there might be some dogs that have a tendency to do better with one type of training than another. So that helps us to kind of decide what type of dog they probably best would be of the different types of dogs that we provide. And there's always just, I think, a look of wonderment on the person's face. You know, I think it's because it's finally here. It finally happened. And they are giving the dog some treats and doing a lot of petting, whatever, because obviously the dog right now thinks the trainer is number one. And we have to start the process of changing that bond and that working ability and that love over to the person that they've been matched with. So I think it's like, you know, the child with the toy that they've always wanted. That's the first part. Just walk in and say, wow, I'm really glad I got this dog. And it's just the start of a long, hopefully very successful and loving relationship.
And when this first learning and bonding experience has been completed, all of our clients and their new partners take the stage to receive and accept a diploma on graduation day. When it comes to providing the very best, we at NEADS believe that attention to detail makes all the difference to each one of our clients every day, one dog at a time.
Okay. So meeting a service dog. It sounds like some of you have met a service dog before out in public. Just a few quick rules about meeting a service dog. One, you always want to respect their space. I mean, that's pretty much the same for any dog, but you always want to ask. If you do want to say hello, you always want to ask first, because the dog is doing a job, and you wouldn't want to distract the dog from that job. And then you wait for our command is say hello, and then the dog can come up and get all the pets that you want to give. One last thing I just wanted to mention. So I know in the beginning they told you guys that Lori and I work in fundraising. So one of the things that we work on specifically is our little gift shop that we have on campus called the NEADS shop. We do have a website online that you can order stuff, but we sell really fun apparel and gifts, great for the holidays, cute little stuffed animals and coloring books and hats and t-shirts and sweatshirts and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's just shop.neads.org. And that's how you can get there. But all the proceeds go right into the program from sales. And that concludes our presentation. We'd like to open up the floor for questions.
What percentage of dogs pass the course?
It's about 50% of our dogs that make it through the program. Like the video that we played, one of our trainers mentioned that we have a very high standard. So they can flunk out for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's health related. They could just have an allergy, for example, that disqualifies them because we don't want to put the burden of an extra cost of something on our client who would have to take care of them.
What is the etiquette when you meet somebody with a service dog with regard not to the person, but to the dog?
Yeah, so basically you just want to respect the dog's space. If you really can't help it, and you really want to say hi to the dog, then just politely ask its owner if it's okay if you say hello to the dog. I would never just go over and start petting a service dog because they are working.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah,
Okay.
Hi, it's Sharon. So I just want to remind everyone that when we first decided to do this dog day from Brookline Rotary, we decided that we wanted to give some of our proceeds to a dog related organization, and everyone in our club, it seemed like, really were for someone that was local as well as someone who worked with service or assistance dogs. And actually Alberta, I want to give credit to Alberta because Alberta found NEADS. And I just want to say that some of the reasons that we chose NEADS, because there's certainly a lot of needs from a lot of organizations, is one is NEADS for quite a long time has been the highest on Charity Navigator. So they're really solvent. They have also, as you can see, adding more and more to their program and making it better and better, like the facility for people to live there. So this, we're really glad that you come here. But one of the questions that I had asked Hannah, and also Lori can comment on that, is what if someone is not able to afford this? What do you have in place? Could you explain that? And we had also talked about perhaps our money going to a specific charitable, scholarship area. Anyways, how you help people.
So the dogs, we don't say up front that we charge people for the dogs. We ask our clients to fundraise for the dog. And that goal is $8,000 for the dog. And they don't have to raise $8,000 in order to get the dog. Some people start fundraising and, we happen to have a dog for them that's perfect for them. So we match them and they get the dog before they're done fundraising, and then they just continue to fundraise until they reach that goal. We have a dedicated staff member who works with our clients and helps them fundraise ideas and promotion and all that kind of stuff. But yes, recently we have had a new fund, the Stephen Baum Fund, which is dedicated to helping those clients that struggle with their fundraising. So, if sometimes if a certain client struggles, that staff member that works with them will say, if you're able to fundraise, $100 in the next month or so, I can match that and take $100 from the Stephen Baum Fund for you. So it's kind of offered to those clients that are struggling a little bit more than others to help them with their fundraising goal. Does that answer pretty well?
Yeah, because that was another thing that really impressed me, because I know there's some places you have to pay like $35,000,
How do you determine whether a dog is a service dog or an assistance dog for people who have traumas?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
trauma.
Like a veteran with PTSD or something.
Yeah.
So throughout the dog's training, if it's in the prison system with an inmate handler, that inmate handler is taking notes throughout the entire time that they spend with that dog, about the dog's personality, their strengths, their weaknesses. And so is their weekend puppy raiser that they, the volunteers that take the dogs out of prison on the weekends. So we're getting all of this feedback on what the dog is like, like I said, their personality, strengths, weaknesses. And basically from that, that's how we determine where that, so like a dog that is going to be placed with a veteran with PTSD or even a child with autism, it needs to be a special dog that is very in tune with someone's emotions. They need to be able to feel that, someone's about to have a panic attack. You need to go over to that, person and put your head on them, or just be there for them. Whereas a service dog, not that they can't do that stuff, but they are more focused on the tasks of, opening things or, helping that person get out and about.
I have one more question. What happens to the 50% of the dogs that don't pass, that don't graduate?
Lori, I'll let you take it since I've been answering.
So they're actually adopted out as pets. We have a very long wait list for that. It's almost as hard to, you can go on our website and apply for it. We call them furloughed favorites or fabulous flunkies. I think they have a couple different names. Yeah. You still get a really great dog because a lot of them have already gone through their training. So they have, they're very obedient, but they might have an allergy to something that wouldn't be manageable for our client, or they just can't get over chasing squirrels or something like that. You still end up getting a really good dog, but it just wouldn't be manageable for a client.
I wanted to ask, I noticed that there was one poodle in the slideshow, which by the way was fabulous. It was a great presentation, guys. Thank you so much. The poodle, I'm presuming it was shown as an example of the hospital dog. So I'm assuming that's because you have to have some breeds that are hypoallergenic.
That's true. Yep. It's very rare that we get a poodle. Actually, we try to do a doodle, which is like half lab, half poodle. Poodles are very focused on one person, whereas a Labrador, they kind of love whoever they're with. So when training a poodle, they become very attached to their whoever is doing the training. But we have so many people training these dogs. Like we have puppy raisers, we have prison inmates, and we have our trainers, and then ultimately the client. A Labrador can transfer that love very easily, whereas a poodle, they can't do that very well. So we don't really use poodles as much anymore because of that issue. But a Labradoodle, actually, we get the best of both worlds. Yeah.
Can I also ask, do you pay any of your volunteers, including the weekend and the prisoner volunteers, or are they all volunteers?
They're all volunteer.
That's all volunteer.
Mm-hmm. There's about 40 staff members at NEADS. We're all paid, but the volunteers are not.
And what prisons do you work with?
Do you know, Hannah? I think it's seven now. The video said 9, but I think we're in 7.
I know. Well, there's Framingham. We're in
2 in Concord.
Yep, 2 of the ones in Concord. We're at Gardner.
In Rhode Island.
Yes, one. Yep, Rhode Island is one. JJ Moran, that's the Rhode Island one. I know there's one I'm forgetting that's big, but I can't think. Aaron Prison. No, I can't.
So are there women prisoners as well that work with the dogs?
Framingham is the women's prison.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And what do the prisoners need to be able to work with the? Do they have to have certain qualifications or whatever to work with the dogs?
Yep. Obviously, they need to be in prison long enough. So it's usually medium security or higher. Because it takes 2 years to train a dog, so they need to be in prison at least longer than 2 years. But obviously, no like abuse crimes towards animals or elderly people, no gang affiliations. They need to be on good behavior too. So it's pretty scrutinous to who gets to raise these dogs, but it ends up being a win-win thing for us. So it's a reward system for the inmate, and we also get round-the-clock training. And also they are learning a skill while in prison too that they might not have otherwise learned. Then they can, when they get out, they can work with dogs. So.
Wonderful.
It's a wonderful program.
Well, thank you very much. I think we have time for one more question if anyone have.
I have a philosophical question.
Well, go for it,
Are
Steve.
dogs better than people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us. We really enjoyed meeting you all.
Well, we did enjoy meeting you, and we've heard a lot. We learned a lot about you during this event we had, and we wanted anxiously been waiting to meet you and hear about you more. So then we feel we truly know you, and we hope to have future events, Dog Day events, and we hope to have you participate with us. You know, come actively, have a booth or a tent like we did, and help us manage the event. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it very much. And we what is it, Susan?
I just said thanks for your good work.
That's right. It is. It's a real good work.
We made a great choice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's true.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work.